Welcome to this Getting Started video on the Martin Companion software. I'm Wouter, and in this video you will learn all the basics of how you can use the Martin Companion software. After installing the Martin Companion software and starting it for the first time, you will notice in the bottom left corner that it starts to download a lot of files. Martin Companion automatically downloads all the Fixture firmware files and all the Martin made GDTF files automatically from the Martin Companion cloud. This might take a while the first time you start the application. Every following time you start the application, Martin Companion will automatically check for any new files available in the cloud. You can also manually trigger this process in the Import-Export menu and hit Force Cloud Sync New. Once you hit that, it will force a quick check if there's any new firmware or GDTF files available. You can also do a Force Cloud Sync All. This will delete all the firmware and GDTF files from your hard drive and make a complete resynchronization with the Martin Companion cloud, giving you a clean start. Martin Companion can also be installed on computers that is not connected to the internet. For this, you of course need to download some of the files manually. So on a computer that is connected to the internet, you hit Export Cloud to File. This will export all the Martin firmware files and all the GDTF files into one package, which you can then put on a USB stick and insert on a computer that is not connected to the internet. And on that one you would hit Import Cloud from File, so you get all the files on that machine without requiring direct internet access to the Martin Companion cloud. Let's have a look at the different views and functions within the Martin Companion software. The different functions can be accessed through the green icons here in the main toolbar. The first one is Firmware Update. This function allows you to update firmware in any Martin fixture. All fixtures are available here with their latest firmware. Then you can upload the firmware to any or multiple fixtures at the same time. The second function is the RDM view. This will show all the fixtures connected to Martin Companion via the Martin Companion cable and DMX, or via the network using RDM over ArtNet. All fixtures will show up and you can change parameters on all fixtures easily. The third view is the Fixture Configuration view. Here you can create templates containing multiple parameters and then push those templates to one or multiple fixtures to quickly get a lot of settings aligned nicely. The fourth view is the StandAlone view. Here you can program standalone sequences that can then be played back in supported fixtures. So once programmed for standalone, these fixtures can run a show without requiring any controller connected to them. The last view is the GDTF view. Here you can browse through all the Martin-made GDTF files, check fixture details such as channel counts, different modes, different gobos, different colors, but also download the GDTF file to a USB stick or your hard drive to then use those GDTF files with your favorite lighting control, visualizer or CAD software. Martin Companion can connect with fixtures using two different methods. The first one is using the Martin Companion cable, which is a USB to DMX adapter cable. Once you plug that into the computer, the USB icon here in the top right will light up to indicate that a Martin Companion cable is connected. Here in the bottom right corner, you can see if the companion cable itself has the latest firmware. If this is not the case, go to the Tools menu, Update Companion Cable Firmware. Here you can see what firmware your companion cable is running, and here you can update the firmware of the cable itself. It's really important that the Martin Companion cable is running the latest firmware, otherwise you might face issues. The second way in which Martin Companion can communicate with fixtures is using RDM over ArtNet, so over a network interface. Once you plug in the network cable in Martin Companion, the network icon here in the top right will also light up to indicate that you have a network connection active in Martin Companion. Within the settings menu, you can choose which network port to use for this communication. So you select one of the network ports available on your computer, and here you also see the IP settings of that network port. They are read-only. However, if you start Martin Companion as an administrator on your machine, you can change the IP address and the subnet mask of the network port to establish successful communication with your lighting network. In the connection settings window, you also have a second update on the Martin Companion cable to let you know if it is plugged in or not and what firmware it is running. Let's look at how you can update the firmware of a Martin fixture or multiple fixtures using Martin Companion. So within the firmware update screen, you will find all the Martin fixtures. You can easily browse through them and for each fixture see what firmware versions are available. An easier way to do it is to use the search function. So for example, I'm looking for the Mac RXIP, so I type XIP. It filters down to the Mac RXIP and shows me what firmware packages are available for that fixture. Martin Companion offers 4 methods to update firmware onto any of our fixtures. You can update firmware via DMX. So this is using a Martin Companion cable to a DMX cable, which is then connected to one or multiple fixtures. You can update firmware via the network. This is only supported on the newer Martin fixtures, but it means that you connect a network cable between your computer running Martin Companion and the network of fixtures, and then firmware can be uploaded to those fixtures over the network. You can also download a P3 firmware file using Martin Companion. So here you download the file, put it on a P3 system controller or Martin P3 PC, and then use the P3 system to update firmware in fixtures. The last method is updating fixtures via USB stick on fixtures that do have a USB port. So here you download the firmware from the cloud on USB stick and then plug it into the fixtures to upgrade their firmware. Let's have a quick look at how you update firmware via DMX. So I will have some Mac RXIP connected here. I hit update firmware via DMX version 1.1.1. It asks me to connect the DMX cable, and now it is discovering the fixture. It says I found one Mac RXIP and one of them, so all of them, does require a firmware update. I will now press OK, and it asks me to confirm the firmware upload start. So I now start the process. Martin Companion will start to load firmware into this fixture. So once the firmware upload is finished, the fixture will install that firmware and Martin Companion will wait for that. So here you see the fixture starts to install the firmware. Martin Companion will now wait for the firmware installation, and once it's installed, it will verify that. Martin Companion has now verified that the firmware has successfully updated into the fixture, and you're now done with this task. The fixture is now running the firmware you just pushed to it. Another resource very useful to have is the website at martin.com under Support Firmware, where you will find an overview of all Martin fixtures and their latest firmware. This is automatically updated just as Martin Companion itself. So it's a very valid resource to check what the latest firmware for each Martin fixture is. Martin Companion can use RDM or RDM over ArtNet to address fixtures remotely or change any setting within them. This is located in the RDM view here in Martin Companion. And here in the top right corner, you will see the discovery status indicating you if fixtures are still being discovered. So this icon will flash between red and green if discovery is still in progress. Once done, Martin Companion will list all the fixtures it has found that are connected to your companion cable and or all the fixtures connected to the network on your fixture. If it's a long list of fixtures, you can easily filter it down using the filters on the left-hand side, such as the connection type or the model if you only want to look at one specific model. One useful feature here is the highlight function, which will highlight any fixture as you select it, so you easily know which fixture you are dealing with. Let's address these 6 video sceptrons. Let's start by putting them all in the same mode, so I do Shift-click to select all of them, and then I want to put them all in basic mode. Martin Companion will now put all those fixtures in basic mode. In some cases this takes a while because RDM over a normal DMX cable is sometimes a slow protocol, so this takes a while to update. Once all the fixtures are set to basic mode, I want to start addressing them. So for that to happen, I want to find my first fixture, which is the top left one, and I want to put that at address number 1. Martin Companion is now putting that fixture on the first address. And once that is done, the field here will update. And also it will show the last used DMX address here in the last use column. So we now know that this fixture is using address 1 through 10. Let's now find the fixture right next to it, which is indeed this one. And I say I want to put that on address 11. This should then be the third one, so that should be 21. This is the fourth one, that should be 31. I think he missed that one, that would be 21, 31. This would then be 41. And that's the last one, that would then be 51. Once completed, you will see the addresses and the last used address of each fixture. And worth noting that in Martin Companion, you can sort on any column easily, reverse and normal sorting, so you can easily see the fixtures in the right order. And now with highlights still enabled, I can step through the fixtures and see if they're addressed in the correct order, and also verify all the other parameters. In this second example, we've connected 4 Mac Ultra fixtures to Martin Companion via an ArtNet to DMX node. So it's a network cable from the Companion computer to the ArtNet node, and then DMX cables to the fixtures. Here, in the RDM view, you see the 4 fixtures, and the connection type is now the ArtNet node. On advanced products like moving heads, you have a lot more parameters that can be accessed through Martin Companion. Bear in mind that many of those parameters are Martin specific, so when you connect non-Martin products to the Companion software, all the basic RDM commands will work, but more advanced features will not be available simply because these fixtures do not support these features. So in the patch field, you will of course have access to the mode, the universe, the address, but also can set pan and tilt inversion and more settings here. A very useful feature here as well is in the mode field, where you select your DMX mode, you have a little info icon. If you click that, you actually get a DMX listing of all the channels of the fixture in that specific mode. So it's a nice little cheat view there to quickly see the channel layout of the fixture in the selected mode. In light and color, you have access to parameters such as the dimmer curve, the color mode, key light calibration or gobo CT correction, which is a Mac Ultra feature. In control, you have access to settings like the pan and tilt speed, the effect speed, or the focus tracking distance. In display, you can turn the displays on the fixtures on or off, or set them to auto off after a few minutes. In power, you have access to settings like hibernation, which is very useful when not using the fixtures for an extended period of time. Outdoor is specific to our outdoor rated fixtures, such as the Mac RXIP, and here you can set outdoor specific features. In the pan tilt limits, you're able to set pan and tilt limitations on most of the Martin moving heads. This is really useful when using the products in space limited positions so they don't hit anything around them. Details gives a lot of detailed information such as serial numbers, the latest firmware version on the product, the MAC address. All of those details can be consulted here. And service gives you access to a lot of the counters such as the device hours, the power cycles that the unit has been used, and also if there's any errors pending. On top of the details in the service, you can also select the fixture and read out the sensors. So this will read out all the temperature sensors, all the fan speed sensors, all the voltage sensors in the product, and in real time give you a status on where each value is at. This is updated in real time, so when servicing a fixture, you can monitor it for a while and see if there's any parameter going out of bounds, which will be also indicated by the color of the icon. Below that, you have the fixture actions, so you can select one or multiple fixtures, and then you can trigger actions on the fixtures. You could, for example, set all your selected fixtures to factory defaults, give them all a reset, or just reset their IP settings. Clear out any pan tilt limits that might be stored in the fixture. So this is extremely useful when you get fixtures back to clear out any pan tilt limits. Put them all in fan clean mode when you're cleaning them, or do a full self-test sequence when you want to give them a quick test before sending out to the next job. So a lot of parameters are accessible via Martin Companion here. One last thing, which is a very useful feature, is the possibility to export all of this information to a CSV file. So this is found here in the Import-Export menu. Export the RDM patch list. I will put it on a USB stick and call the file export. And if I now open this file in Excel, you will see you get a spreadsheet with all the parameters we were looking at earlier in a nice overview spreadsheet. So you have access to, like, hey, what's the IP addresses of all my fixtures, or even more useful, what's the serial number of all my fixtures. So instead of walking around and writing all of that down on a large installation or a large rig, you can now just export all of that information to a CSV file for easy servicing and easy documenting of a large quantity of fixtures. So this gives you a good indication of what's possible with the RDM view in Martin Companion. The fixture configuration function in Martin Companion allows you to create templates of settings which you can then easily apply to multiple fixtures at the same time. Let's start by creating a template. So we have found 2 Mac Ultra washers on the network and 2 Mac Ultra Performances. As you see here, we want to create a template for the Mac Ultra Performance. So you select Mac Ultra Performance and hit Create Template. We're going to start by creating a theater template. For theater, you can now choose which parameters you want to include. The tabs you find here in the top are the same as in the RDM view, so they will feel very familiar to you already. So for theater, I might say that I want the color mode to be a calibrated color mode, and I want the tungsten emulation to be on. And let's put all the speeds to smooth, as in most applications you would like to have them for theater applications. And then fan mode obviously in ultra low. Any combination of parameters can be selected and put in a template. Only the parameters you checked with the checkbox will be part of the template. Any other parameter will be left untouched in the fixtures. Let's now create a second template for festival. So I want to send out these Mac Ultra fixtures to a festival. For that, I would use a different template. There I would put the color mode to extended or maybe even to raw. Tungsten emulation definitely off. And then put all the speeds to fast. And put the fan mode in the default regulated one. So now that creates a festival template for Mac Ultras. The nice thing with these templates is that you can just have these standard settings that how you want to send out fixtures for specific applications. You create these templates and then you keep using them over and over again, always consistent with the fixture settings as you send them out. Now I want to send these settings to the fixture, so I select the the Mac Ultra Performance here, so there's 2 on the line, but there could be more. I could use that tomorrow again for another 5 fixtures. I select the template, so theater, and I hit apply. Martin Companion will now push via RDM or RDM over ArtNet all those settings to all the Mac Ultra Performance fixtures he has discovered. I can now check that this worked by going to the RDM view and seeing yes, pan and tilt speed, effect speed, and the fan mode have been changed as I preferred them to be in the template. Let's do it again. Let's select the same Ultra Performance fixtures, and now I want to send them out to a festival. I select that festival template, hit apply. Now everything that I had in the festival template is being sent to those fixtures. And once again, I go to the RDM view, and sometimes it takes a little while to update. You will see that they're all now set to fast movement, fast effect speed, and the fan mode was changed to regular. And you can also look at light and color. You can also see that the color mode was set to raw. So basically anything I had put in the template is now set on those fixtures. So extremely useful feature for consistently preparing fixtures or preparing a venue when changing between different acts. Templates can also be shared with other users. So if I want to share this theater template, I can just select it, and in the import-export menu, I can export this and then put it on a USB stick or email it to my colleagues. This is really useful for rental companies with multiple technicians. The lead technician can create the templates on how he or she wants the fixtures to be sent out for different applications, and then everybody imports those same templates in Martin Companion and consistently uses those templates to always send out fixtures for applications with the same settings without the manual hassle of checking all the settings on every fixture one by one. So a very powerful feature in Martin Companion with the Fixture Configuration tool. Martin Companion can also be used to program standalone shows in supported Martin fixtures. Let's see how this is done. So the standalone programming view is found here on the 4th view in Martin Companion. The first thing that happens is that Martin Companion discovers all the compatible fixtures either via a Martin Companion cable, as I have next to me here, or on the network if you have the fixtures connected using RDM over ArtNet. This screen will only show fixtures that are compatible with the standalone programming. So if you have any other fixtures on the DMX cable or on the network that do not support standalone programming, they will simply not be shown in the standalone view. In the list here, you of course have the fixture filter as we have seen in previous screens of the companion software, so you can still use the filtering here. Of course, we also have the highlight button, so any fixture you select will be highlighted. A very useful thing to do here is give every fixture a label as you highlight which one is which. That makes programming later in the show a lot easier because then you know exactly what fixture is what. Also very useful here is setting the DMX mode for each fixture, because the DMX mode you set here will determine what kind of faders / controls you will get later on in the standalone programming process. I want to do a standalone show in all of those 4 fixtures, so I select all of them. But it's of course also possible to do a partial selection and only do a show on 2 of the fixtures, for example. You have a few options here. Either you create a new show from scratch, but you can also edit a show that's already in the fixtures. Because the standalone programming is stored in the fixtures, not in Companion, if I do edit, it will read the show back from the fixtures into Companion. Then I can modify some of the colors, some of the timings, and then push it back into the fixtures. So you can also edit on the fly, and it does not even need to be with the same computer as the one you used for the original programming, because once again, everything is stored in the fixtures, not in the computer. Let's start by creating a new show file. So every fixture I've selected here is now available here for standalone programming. So I now select a fixture, and of course you can also select multiple fixtures at the same time. So if you want all fixtures to be the same color, you just select all of them and then adjust the sliders. But I'm just going to do it one by one to make it easier to follow. So let's start with red on all the RGB white fixtures, and on the CTC fixtures, let's start with a nice warm white. Let's do it for the other one as well. And this is my first scene. I'm quite happy with it. Now you can do add scene to add a second scene to the show. All the fixtures that do support standalone programming via Martin Companion support up to 20 scenes, and for each of those scenes you can enter a unique duration and a unique fade time. So duration and fade time does not need to be the same for all the scenes. It can be set on a scene by scene basis. So I've created a second scene. For that scene I will make the warm fix, the CTC fixtures go to something like 3500 Kelvin. And let's, on the first fixture, flip one of the segments from red to green. Add one more scene. Let's now take the next block to green. One more scene. Then let's keep this one red and take the next fixture and go to green. It's trying to make a nice chase here. And then the final scene, I will take this one back to red and this one back to green. Yes, of course you can step back and forth between the scenes. So it's red, then the first one, then the second one, then the third one, and then the fourth one. So you can step back and forth between the scenes, add a new scene halfway or delete the scene. All the typical controls are available there. And of course you can modify any of the scenes as you step through them. Once you're happy with the different scenes, you can then enter timing. For now I'm just going to make them all 5 seconds as well. And maybe that first scene where they were all the same color, maybe make that a little bit shorter, 3 seconds. I can also then add a fade time for each of the scenes. Once I'm happy with the timings, I save this into the fixture. So all of this information is now pushed to the fixtures via the Martin Companion cable or via a network connection if you're using that to communicate with the fixtures. Now I can hit preview to see the show before it's actually run, and I can still make some corrections, but I'm quite sure that my program was done correctly. So I now just hit run show. It now saves everything into the fixtures, including all the timings I've entered. And now the software tells me to disconnect the Martin Companion cable or the Ethernet cable if I've used that one from the fixtures. So I disconnect the DMX cables. And now the fixtures will start running this show fully standalone without requiring any controller. So you see the entire show starts running between the fixtures without requiring any controller to be connected. Even if I power cycle the fixtures will go through the different steps of the standalone scene fully automatic, as you would expect. So this is how you do standalone programming using Martin Companion. Another useful feature in the Martin Companion software is the built-in GDTF tool. GDTF is a file format for basically fixture personality files as used by many lighting consoles, CAD software programs, and visualizer programs. So it's an industry standard initiative to document fixture performance, behavior, and also the 3D modeling. We at Martin have made GDTF files for our most popular fixtures, and all of these are now available in Martin Companion. And as we add new files, they are automatically added to the cloud, so your Martin Companion will automatically download those as they become available. In Martin Companion, in the GDTF screen, you can browse through all the Martin-made GDTF files and immediately consult the different DMX modes that are available. With the channel listing of each DMX mode, you also get information such as the RDM device model ID, a picture, and also information about the colors on the color wheel and the gobos on the various gobo wheels. So you get a full overview of the basic features of that lighting product. Of course, you can also do a search. So let's say we're looking for a Mac Encore. I find the fixture here with the DMX channel listing, the different colors on the wheels, the gobos, and the animation wheel. Now I cannot only consult the GDTF file, but I can also export it to then start using it on a lighting control software, on a CAD software or a visualizer software. So I hit download GDTF file. It will place the file on the recommended file location on a USB stick or your hard drive, and then you can start using it with any third-party software supporting the GDTF initiative. If you want to get all Martin GDTF files in a single go, in the Import-Export menu we have the Export All GDTF Files. This will take all the Martin-made GDTF files from the cloud and put them all on a USB stick on hard drive, so you're fully up to date with the latest library files provided by Martin Professional. Thank you for watching this Getting Started video on Martin Companion. We hope you enjoy using the various functions provided by this software package.